Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're all excellent. On today's video, I want to talk about 3 things that I've noticed over the time I've been doing guitar gear demos. Basically, this video is going to boil down to, can you trust the reviews and the demos that I do, and can you trust anyone else's reviews and demos? But to do that, I just want to talk about 3 things that I've kind of learned or noticed because I read all the comments. When you leave a comment, I read it. So if you tell me that I suck, or you tell me that I'm great, just keep that in mind when you comment on this video. In general, you should probably do that on social media, but that's not how social media works. That's a rant for another day. But the first thing that I've noticed relates directly to you, the viewer. Because I'm one of you, I watch all the big channels on YouTube. I watch a bunch of other channels that I really enjoy, whether it is a mega channel like Ola England or Pete Thorne, or whether it's a channel that's maybe a little bit smaller that should have way more subscribers, someone like Michael Nielsen or John Cordy or Plagueside Studios. Shout out to all those channels. Go and subscribe to them. They're amazing. Is that watching a guitar gear demo review, I know when I watch it, I basically already kind of know something about the thing that someone's demoing, because otherwise I wouldn't click on the little thumbnail. So I'm like, oh, hey, it's Michael Nielsen doing a video on the 80A MP1. I'm interested to hear that. Or it's Ola England doing a Fractal Audio Does It Chug video. I'm going to be interested in that. And I've noticed that on my channel as well, is that a lot of the people who come to watch a product demo, they've already encountered a bunch of stuff with the pedal. Most of the time, they actually already own the thing, and they just want to watch the video to feel a little bit better about themselves and the fact that they just spent a bunch of their money on a piece of guitar gear, because I do that as well. Like I said, I'm one of you. I'll buy a piece of gear, I get that rush and that kick, and I go through that honeymoon period where I play it every day, and then that kind of wears off a little bit. And I need to get excited about this thing that I just spent a few $100 or a few $1,000s on. So I'll go to Pete Thorne's channel and watch him make it sound awesome. And if it doesn't sound awesome, I'm probably going to want to complain about it. And I notice that people do that a lot. Like, hey, you did a demo on this thing and you said you really liked it, but I got it and I think it sucks, and I blame you for my poor decisions. That's a dynamic on YouTube. So basically a little lesson: if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, be prepared for that. The second thing relates to the kind of behind the scenes thing, the manufacturers. There's a whole bunch of gear on this channel that you've seen demoed that I have paid for. There is also a bunch of gear that you've seen on this channel that I have had sent to me by manufacturers. If you read the description of every video that I do, I now have a disclaimer about that. You can read the video description here and you can read that disclaimer for yourself. But there is, I think, a perception with people that people like me who demo guitar gear get paid a whole bunch of money to do these videos, and that is just not the case. There are dedicated gear review channels where people definitely charge money, and it's pretty obvious which ones those are, because those people are really good and they have great production value. And YouTube has replaced traditional media when it comes to marketing for guitar companies. If I was making a thing, I wouldn't spend a whole bunch of money on Guitar World magazine. No disrespect to Guitar World magazine or Premier Guitar. I like both of those magazines. I read them. Well, I read their non-print versions now. I go and watch, one of my favorite YouTube channels demoing the piece of gear. I find that so much easier to understand because I can hear the thing. I don't have to read about it. I can immediately hear someone pull a tone on it and go, hey, I want that thing because it does something that I want. And that is one of the best things about this platform. It is obviously one of the downsides as well. But I will say, just because somebody chooses to charge money for a service that they provide to a manufacturer does not make them a shill. I think guitar gear reviews in general could be a little bit more balanced, because, I mean, let's face it, someone's not going to spend a bunch of time making a video about a piece of gear which sucks. And it is really hard to make something sound bad nowadays because guitar gear is just so much more consistent than it was a generation ago. So there's that factor in there. But again, just remember, when you're watching a specific demo, it's going to be fairly obvious when somebody is and isn't getting paid to do it. It doesn't mean that, they're making like $10,000 to do a video, which just basically amounts to an advertisement. A lot of the time, people are going out and they're buying gear, and I still do that a lot. If I see a piece of gear by a manufacturer that I like and I want to support that manufacturer, I will pay for the gear, and then I will do a bunch of videos with it on my channel, because to me, that's something I'm excited about. That's something that I want to share with everybody who watches this channel. So keep that in mind. But yeah, just because somebody charges money doesn't mean that they're necessarily just a shill. Like I said, if I was a manufacturer, I would just go to, in my opinion, some of the best YouTube channels and just go, hey, Pete Thorne, you're amazing at what you do. We're going to spend our marketing budget, or some of our marketing budget, on giving you money and supporting what you do. Because, someone like that deserves it, in my opinion, if they're making great content. Which leads into number 3, me. I don't charge money to do guitar gear demos. Like I said, I will have gear sent to me by the manufacturer, or I will go out and buy pieces of gear, but that's because my job is not YouTube. I do make money via the YouTube ad revenue. So to everybody who has subscribed to the channel and who doesn't skip the ads, thank you, because that's like putting a couple of cents in my pocket so I can go and buy coffee, or I can buy some food for my cat. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all the people who watch all of my videos. I also have started a Patreon, and you can also book online lessons with me. That is my main revenue stream. It's not getting paid to do gear demos, and that is 100% a personal choice because of the things I outlined in point 2. I don't want to be beholden to a manufacturer or to all of you to consistently have to be at the top of my game. Sometimes I'm having a flat day and I make a video and I listen back to it a month later and I go, you know what? I did that gear demo and I kind of sucked. And if someone's paying me money to do that, that's not something that personally I feel 100% comfortable with. I would much rather a manufacturer send me something, whether it is to keep or whether it is to have on loan, and me just do my thing, which is noodle around with things, plug it in, twist some knobs, make some sounds, and just go, hey, it makes cool tones. I like it. You might like it as well. So that's my bottom line, is because I do not want this to become a chore. I want to enjoy doing YouTube. I want to enjoy interacting with all the people who follow the channel. And for me, it's more about the big picture. Like, I play guitar because I like to make music, and there are links to my music in every single video that you see here. And a bunch of you have gone out and checked out the music that I make. That means the world to me, because that's, that's the thing that I do. I love doing YouTube demo videos as well, because I love showcasing epic gear, but it really, on the list of priorities, it is like 100 rungs lower than making music. That is what I love to do. So that's why I do what I do. Can you trust my reviews? Well, take it with a grain of salt. My experience with a piece of gear is my experience. It may or it may not map onto your experience or your needs. I know this sounds like every single video, which is just like, it's all relative. But the constant factor in all of my videos is me. So if you want to know if a piece of gear sounds good, you actually have to go and do a little bit more work and watch a bunch of my other videos and compare some things, because I tend to play the same guitars in the same room, in the same kind of style, playing the same licks that I always play. And if you try to keep up with the channel, I guess that's the idea of like subscribing to a channel. You watch everything I do, and then you get an idea for the variation in not only how a piece of gear sounds, but in me as well. That's the point. Or is it a point? Maybe none of this made sense. If it didn't make sense, let me know in the comments. If it made sense, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear about some of your favorite gear demo channels, because there are so many people out there who do a much better job than I do, in my opinion, of actually demoing gear and showcasing gear. The point of my channel isn't so much to do that. It's just me being me and being excited about the guitar, being excited about music, and being excited about machines that make epic tones. So there's 3 things that I've learned by doing YouTube guitar gear demos. Like I said, let me know some extra feedback in the comments. And yeah, most of all, stay safe, be good to one another. I'll see you next time. The next video is going to have a bunch of playing in it as well. So if this was too much babbling, just wait till tomorrow. I'll be back. See ya.